And joining us in Studio B this morning to talk more about a community public safety meeting is the Director of Kern County Animal Services, Nick Cullen. Nick, thanks for coming in.
Thank you for having me.
First of all, this meeting is Wednesday night, and what all will it encompass?
So this is mostly going to be about animal control. Kern County Animal Services has multiple functions in the county. One of those functions is animal control. Animal control is the animal control officers that patrol the unincorporated areas of Kern County, responding to calls for injured animals, responding to calls for vicious dogs. They're very busy. We run about 19,000 calls a year for service in our community. They're very busy, and we want to have a meeting where we could talk to the community about public safety and how it relates to animal control, because a lot of folks are interested and involved in the animal shelter and the animals that are coming in and leaving the animal shelter, but most people have a connection to animal services by public safety. They want to know that, can I walk to my mailbox and get my mail and not have to worry about my neighbor's dog coming and attacking me?
Is that the biggest issue?
That's one of the issues, just the whole idea of stray dogs that are loose in our community, sometimes stray, sometimes owned dogs that are loose in our community. We want to really meet the community in the community, talk to them about the challenges that we face, talk to them about the services that we do offer, the services that we do not offer, what we can do, what we can't do, some of our limitations, but also get feedback from the community to see how we can maybe do better.
What are some of the things that your officers face? What are some of the biggest challenges when they're going out and they're talking to people about these things?
Yeah, I think it's mostly the biggest challenges they're facing are a lot of misinformation, disinformation, things that, an example is if I leave my house in the morning and I see a stray dog on the street corner, then I call animal control, and then I go to work, and then I come home, and that dog is there again. There might be an assumption that nothing was done about it, and to try to explain what happens in that interim, my officer will respond, but if the dog is not there, they're not going to patrol the neighborhood looking for it. If the dog's not there, they're going to move on to their next call. So things like that, just some misinformation or misunderstandings about how we operate, what we can do, what we can't do. This is our 5th public safety meeting.
Has it always been called the public safety meeting, or has it gone through different?
We probably had a few different names over the years, but also, I've been the Director of Animal Services for 14 years now, and an officer for 7 years of my career. We've done a lot of community meetings over the years.
Right.
This is probably our first really group of community meetings where we're working with the Kern Safe Coalition. Kern Safe Coalition is a local coalition of animal welfare groups, just all with the same intent. We're trying to solve the crisis that we're in, trying to bring resources to the community and educate them in a real comprehensive way. So,
do you find that one of the problems when associated with trying to control an animal population is that people just aren't doing enough, when it comes to their own animals, when it might be spay or neuter or whatnot that has gotten us to this point?
I think it's like any community-wide problem. It's going to be created by a number of different issues. Yes, lack of access to affordable care for veterinary services, not just spay and neuter, but basic veterinary care. It does contribute largely to the pet population, especially the stray pet, or at least what we think is a stray pet population problem.
Okay, this public safety meeting is Wednesday.
It's going to be at the Rusty's Pizza Parlor. That's at the corner of Olive Drive and Victor Street, and it's going to be from 6 to 9 p.m.
Nick Cullen, Director, Kern County Animal Services. Thanks for your input. Appreciate it. We'll be right back.